In this video, I'm going to be explaining to one or multiple reasons as to how and why each main character in the Resident Evil series can potentially be the main protagonist in Resident Evil 9. Now, for those who are wondering if I'm going to be including the likes of Hunk, Sheva, and the other characters that belong in that tier, I'm not going to, unfortunately. It's mostly going to revolve around the 5 characters that the series has built up consistently. As for Rebecca Chambers, to quickly go over her, I believe she suits a key role or the main role in a spin-off game if Capcom ever intends on making it. Now, if she has a role in RE9, I'm gonna laugh of how wrong I was. But aside from that, be sure to leave a like on this video to help it reach the YouTube algorithm. And now let's get into the official listing. Starting off with the most requested main character to return, that being Jill Valentine. Since Resident Evil 5 it has been since she last appeared in the timeline. Remakes do not count, which ultimately means it has been 15 plus years. With the RE8 cliffhanger signaling that RE9 could potentially be about the BSAA using bioweapons, Jill should have a prominent role. She is one of the key founders of the organization that has turned rotten. Is it only in the European branch where they are using bioweapons, or is it all over the globe? Who really has no idea? But it begs the question, where does she stand in all of this? Blue Umbrella, the connections, the BSAA, it's all up in the air, and she feels like the missing link to so much in the new story that had previously revolved around the Winters family. Now granted, Death Island did bring her back, but that took place in 2015. So what was she like when Chris went off on his own creating the Hound Wolf Squad? Again, we have absolutely no idea, unfortunately, but if she is front and center, which she rightfully deserves, there will be a lot more questions than answers. Now let's go to her former partner, Chris Redfield. He has been front and center of the main 4, involving the story of the Winters family, even 16 years later in the Shadows of Rose DLC. Does that confirm the BSAA is back to normal, or is it completely done for with the foreshadowing of it? Chris was one of the founding members along with Jill, and he wants to know what has happened, but more importantly, who is behind the usage of bioweapons and why? What happens to the Hound Wolf Squad? Is it someone from Chris's past or someone that has deep ties with his greatest rival, Albert Wesker? Speaking of Wesker, let's say Alex is the main antagonist of Resident Evil 9. This is where we bring in Chris's sister, Claire. Alex Wesker, before committing the S-word, brought her conscience into a little girl named Natalia Corda. And with the ending of Revelations 2 teasing that Alex is gaining control, does Claire return to finish the job she once got dragged into during the events of Cian Island? It is possible. Teaming up with her brother since Code Veronica, the Redfields and Weskers rivalry continuing with Alex now, I see the vision, but more so what happened behind the scenes with Alex, Moira, and Barry. They decided to adopt her, and did she do something terrible to them once Alex had full control? It's been almost 14 years since the events of Revelations 2. Barry Burton, I don't see him coming back due to him being in his mid-60s, and I believe he had the perfect send-off in that game. Now let me say this, of all the main characters, which is the main 4, Claire has been done dirty like really badly, mainly starring in Resident Evil 2 and Code Veronica, all taking place before 2001. She had Revelations 2, which is fair, but that's a spin-off game if anything. It wouldn't be terrible for Claire to come back finally after how many years? Of the numbered games, Claire hasn't gotten one as a lead role. Leon did it with 4, Jill with 3, and Chris with 5. If you want to count Code Veronica, that's fine, but I believe my point still stands. Hell, Ethan had 7 and 8, I kinda feel bad a bit. Now this is where things get tricky. I left Leon for last because where does he fit in all of this? Will the DSO have their own thing and he is tagged along involving the BSAA? Who absolutely knows, but let's say that plot isn't involving the likes of RE9. Leon is actually the perfect fit for the game if that is the case. Could he be tagged along with Jill and they set themselves up for the showdown with the BSAA and Chris is on the other side waiting? As a matter of fact, Jill and Leon are easily the most iconic male and female characters in the series. Is it finally time for them to be together in a game? Death Island brought them together for the first time ever on screen, so will they do it in a game? Some rumors suggested they would, but we will have to see. Now, for the final character, Ada. It's interesting because she's never interacted with the main 4 other than Leon. Chris barely due to her clone running around trying to destroy the world in RE6. In each game Ada is in, Leon is there too. It would be kinda weird if Leon and Ada were not in a game together. CGI movies I understand completely, but it would be a new turn of events in my opinion. Remember that phone call from RE6 where she took on a new job? What was that all about? Does it have something to do with what has transpired with the BSA, or was it her own thing? If Leon is off on his own mission with RE9, then Ada shouldn't be too far behind whether or not if Leon is with Jill or anyone else. You can argue this game is around the corner, and with recent rumblings of a PlayStation State of Play happening in a couple weeks, you best assume most of us will want the game to be revealed there. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button for more content like this in the near future. And as always, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, and much love.